Hey guys, this is day 119 of startup. Humans have some immense survival instincts. If they're put, if we are put under high stress situations where we are afraid of our life or injury, we can do some amazing things. You may have heard of a story of a mother who lifted the entire car when her child was stuck under it. Imagine, like, would you be afraid of making a cold call to a prospect if you're under that kind of influence, if you're in that fear? Or have you been in a situation like where you were very nervous, fearful, and that made you hyper aware? You could like see every small movement in other people's faces and your own body, you were aware of it. So imagine if you could have that level of awareness throughout your startup. How much will you learn in everything? How much you'll be able to observe? But of course, we cannot put our life on risk for the startup. But there are other ways to get some of that do or die instinct. What about leaving your job to just burn your bridges and commit fully to a startup and just believe that the only way out for you for this out of this pain, out of this insecurity is through rather than going back into your job. So my co-founder has been working with me now for a month, and he started with a part-time arrangement where he continued on his job for 2 days a week and worked on the startup on the rest of the 5 days. So we work every day, 7 days a week. So rest of the 5 days he continued to work on the startup. So recently we started having the discussion about having him full time now, and that discussion was started by the investor who was interested in investing in the company. At that time, we decided, and the investor was okay with that. He himself suggested it that my co-founder will leave his job after the investment, and we will pay him $1,000 salary from the investment raised. So we started that discussion then, but now since the investment is not coming now, that whole leaving the job thing got stalled. But since we were already on that discussion, it got me to think that I'm already happy with he's doing. That's fine, he's doing good. And he has been making really good progress on both the marketing side and the product side. But how much more he can do if he could jump in full time and burn his bridges? And my estimated will be 3 or 4 or 5 times. Maybe the amount of time he will give will be the same. Maybe the amount of work he will be able to achieve will be the same. But I think with that level of commitment and survival instinct, the amount of quality or the amount of the impact of that work will be huge, and it can be actually 3, 4, or 5 times. So by the way, my co-founder had been very fair to me. Even if he was doing that 2 days a week for that company, he was willing to share half of his income with me. And it was also fair that he had to do the job because he has a family in India, so he's not single like me. But at the same time, I think the startup is so hard. Like, it can be actually very easy if you're lucky, but if you're not lucky, then you have to turn the luck around to work for you. So I think it really requires like superhuman strength, and money at this point is not that important as it is important to bring that X factor. So I'm going to now insist more on that he comes full time and we let go of the money, both of us, because he was willing to share the profit, and just take up the motto that only way out is through.